This is Whispers of the Universe. Let the world slow down around you. Tonight, we listen for something soft, something fleeting, something that lingers even after the sound itself has gone. We listen for the echo. Close your eyes if you wish. Imagine a valley at dusk. The air is cool, the light dimming, and the stones around you stand silent as sentinels. You call out a single word, your own name perhaps, and then you wait. For a moment, there is nothing but stillness, and then, faintly and gently, the sound returns. Your voice, but not quite yours anymore. Thinner, softer, stretched by distance, carried back to you on the air. This is the echo, a sound both present and absent, a whisper that tells you the world is listening. The echo is simple in its essence, yet layered in meaning. It is a reflection, a reminder, a memory returning. When we think of echoes, we picture mountains and caves, wide spaces where voices bounce back, like children skipping stones across a lake. But the truth is, the universe is filled with echoes. Everywhere, at every scale, vibrations travel, rebound, fade, and return. From the smallest chamber of the human chest to the deepest structures of space itself, echoes are all around us. Some are sounds you can hear. Others are silent, written into light, gravity, or memory. Each one is a trace of what once was, carried forward into what still is. Listen closely. What you hear when a sound reflects is not the original, but the residue. It carries the same tone, the same shape, but it has changed. It is delayed, stretched, transformed by distance and surface. The echo is never identical to the voice that made it, just as memory is never identical to the moment remembered. And yet, it is enough to remind you something has happened here, and it has not yet gone entirely. Imagine the world without echoes. Every word would vanish the instant it was spoken. Every note would collapse into silence the moment it was struck. There would be no lingering, no resonance, no sense that the world itself had acknowledged the sound. An echo is more than a reflection. It is a dialogue. It is the world answering back. In caves where the first humans gathered, they would have shouted and heard their voices return. How strange that must have felt, to hear yourself, but from the dark walls. To be told, without knowing the physics, that the world had ears. Perhaps that is why echoes so often carry mystery, why they are tied to spirits, myths, gods. Because in them we sense something beyond us speaking. Science tells us it is only sound waves, bouncing from stone to stone, their energy fading with each reflection. But the heart tells us it is more. It feels like memory itself has found a way to speak, repeating softly so we do not forget. And in a way, that is true. Echoes are memory in motion. A sound is born, it travels, it meets resistance, it returns. It does not last forever, but while it lingers, it proves that nothing is truly gone in an instant. Everything leaves a trace. Think of the ocean at night. Waves crash, foam rises, and then the sound rolls back across the sand. Each wave is a call. Each retreat is an answer. The whole shore is an echo chamber, endlessly repeating the dialogue between sea and land. Or think of the forest where a bird calls and the trees themselves seem to answer, not because they speak, but because they carry the sound forward, scattering it among their trunks. The world itself is built to remember, if only for a breath. Now, carry this thought further. If stone and sea can hold echoes, why not time? Why not the universe? Physicists speak of cosmic background radiation, the faint afterglow of the Big Bang. It is light stretched thin by billions of years of expansion, still whispering in microwaves across the sky. That glow is an echo too, not of your voice or mine, but of creation itself. The first fire, still murmuring, a memory of a universe being born. And you, listening now, are also an echo. Your heartbeat is the repetition of cells dividing, of rhythms written into your DNA by countless ancestors. Your breath is the echo of the first breath ever drawn on Earth, carried through millions of years of adaptation and survival. You are not only yourself, you are also a reverberation, carrying forward sounds, stories, and stardust from before you were born. When we think of echoes, we often imagine them fading, diminishing, vanishing. But perhaps that is only how they seem to our ears. Energy never truly disappears. It transforms. The sound that leaves your mouth becomes vibration, becomes heat, becomes motion in the air. It shifts, but it does not end. Every word you have ever spoken has touched the air in some way, and though it has changed beyond recognition, it has not been lost. In that sense, the universe itself is an infinite echo chamber, a place where nothing is ever truly gone, only transformed. Let yourself rest in that thought. The world is not silent. It hums with memory. It hums with resonance. It hums with the soft persistence of what has been. And what is an echo, if not comfort? To speak and be answered, even if faintly. To sing and to hear yourself returned. To cry out and know that the cry does not vanish, but lingers, circles back, says, I am still here. Perhaps that is why echoes soothe us as much as they unsettle us. They are proof that the world is not indifferent, that even when we are small, even when we whisper, the universe listens enough to whisper back. So tonight, as you rest, imagine your breath as an echo. Each inhale reflects the exhale before it. Each beat of your heart is an answer to the beat that came before. Your body is its own chamber of resonance, and around you, the walls of the world respond, not loudly, not urgently, but softly, with patience, with care. This is only the beginning. In the chapters to come, we will wander through caves, oceans, memories, and galaxies, listening for the forgotten reverberations that still move among us. But for now, let yourself drift into this first echo, a gentle return, a voice of the world reminding you, nothing truly vanishes, not sound, not memory, not you. Sleep now. The echoes will keep speaking. Even in dreams, the word has left your lips. It has traveled outward, carving ripples in the air, moving away from you as though it will never return. But then, just when you expect it to vanish, it comes back, fainter, softer, changed, and yet still carrying your signature. This is the echo. What is it truly? At its simplest, it is sound returning after meeting a boundary, a wall, a mountain, a cave. Your voice strikes the surface and is flung back toward you, as though the world has chosen to repeat your thought. But in truth, the echo is more than physics. It is a mirror of existence, a reminder that nothing disappears the moment it is born. Sound begins as vibration. When you speak, air rushes through your throat, your vocal cords tremble, and that trembling sets the molecules around you into motion. They bump against one another, passing the pattern forward, a chain of tiny nudges, like dancers touching hands in a circle. Each particle moves, pauses, then moves again, carrying the rhythm outward in waves. The sound is no longer inside you, it belongs to the air, and the air delivers it faithfully until it meets resistance. Imagine a canyon at dusk. You call out into its vast hollow. Your word slams into the stone wall and rebounds. The sound does not vanish at impact. It bends, scatters, and returns. When it reaches you again, it is thinner, stretched by distance, softened by stone, but it is still recognizable. It is still you. It is your voice, dressed in the fabric of the world. Step into a cathedral. Here, the echo multiplies. Stone arches, high ceilings, polished floors, all surfaces catch and return fragments of sound. They overlap, weaving together into a lingering resonance. This is not a single echo, but a chorus. Your word becomes more than itself. It becomes a cloud of sound that hovers long after the lips fall silent. Musicians know this well. They choose such halls not only for their beauty, but because the very walls sing with them. The building itself joins the performance. Now picture the ocean. When a whale calls, its voice spreads across miles of water, bouncing from layers of temperature and current, striking cliffs and ship hulls, returning in strange, distorted shapes. The whale listens, and in the echoes, it hears distance, depth, even the presence of other creatures. Sonar, whether natural or crafted by humans, is nothing but the patient listening to echoes. A pulse sent out, a reflection received, and from that reflection, knowledge is born. The echo is not only repetition, it is a revelation. It allows us to draw the shape of what cannot be seen. Even within your own body, echoes live. Doctors send pulses of sound into your chest, your abdomen, your womb. The waves travel, strike, and return, carrying back with them a story, an image of a heart beating, of tissue layered, of a child stirring in silence. Ultrasound is nothing but echoes given meaning. From them, entire worlds are revealed, worlds hidden inside us. And yet, echoes are never perfect copies. They are altered by the journey. A cave gives them depth. A forest breaks them into fragments. Water stretches them long and slow. What comes back is both familiar and foreign, a reminder that nothing repeats exactly. Even when the world answers, it answers in its own tongue. Perhaps that is why echoes feel so uncanny. They are not simply reflections. They are interpretations. They are the universe retelling what you have spoken. Now think of memory. Is it not an echo too? A laugh from childhood, a voice of someone long gone, a song that played once on a rainy afternoon. When memory arises, it is not the moment itself. It is softened, delayed, reshaped by time, yet still it carries the essential tone, the emotional timbre. Memory is the echo of life, reverberating through the corridors of the mind. The ancients knew this intuitively. They imagined echo as a spirit, condemned to repeat the words of others. But perhaps she was never cursed. Perhaps she was the symbol of remembrance, that even when voices fade, something lingers, that nothing ever vanishes without leaving behind a ghost of sound. Of course, science tells us that echoes fade. Each reflection loses energy. Each bounce scatters the wave thinner and thinner, until at last, silence reclaims it. But even in fading, there is beauty. For what is life if not a series of brief echoes, moments that ring out, linger, and then dissolve? The impermanence itself makes them precious. Now imagine the cosmos. The early universe was dense, filled with light and sound. As it expanded, those first vibrations stretched thin, cooling into faint whispers. Today, scientists listen to that afterglow, the cosmic microwave background. It is nothing less than an echo of creation, still resonating across the sky billions of years later. It is not the original sound, but its residue, proof that beginnings never fully vanish. And so we return to the question, what is an echo? It is sound meeting the world and being sent back. It is memory meeting time and being carried forward. It is the universe refusing to let moments collapse entirely into silence. It is the answer the world gives whenever we speak. Lie quietly now. Listen to your breath. Each inhale echoes the exhale before it. Each heartbeat answers the one that came before. Your body itself is a chamber of resonance, an instrument tuned to repetition. And around you, though you may not notice, the room, the walls, the very night air catch and return fragments of sound, soft, gentle, enough to remind you that you are never speaking into emptiness. Every sound belongs not only to you, but to the space that carries it. Every moment leaves a trace. Every life is an echo, reaching further than it knows. The sound fades, but not entirely. It leaves a trace behind, soft as dust in sunlight, lingering where silence has already begun. This is the way of memory. It is the echo within us. If an echo in the canyon is sound returning, then memory is the canyon inside the mind, reflecting the voices of the past long after they have ceased to speak. Think of the first lullaby you ever heard. Perhaps you do not recall the exact notes, but somewhere, faintly, your body remembers. The rhythm, the gentleness, the comfort. It is carried still, like a hidden hum beneath your daily life. That is an echo of memory, not precise, not complete, but enough to remind you that you were once held, once calmed, once safe. Now think of a face you once loved. Years may have passed. Perhaps you cannot recall every detail of the smile. Perhaps the voice has grown thin in your mind. But in quiet moments, when the world slows, you hear it again. A laugh, a phrase, a tone of affection, not the original, not perfect, but unmistakably theirs. That is also an echo. Memory is not the thing itself. It is the reflection, a sound bouncing against the walls of the mind, returning changed by time. It is softer, sometimes distorted, but it is still the same voice returning. Neuroscience tells us that memory is not fixed. Each time you remember, the brain rebuilds the event from fragments. It is not a recording, but a reconstruction. Each reconstruction reshapes the memory slightly, like an echo bouncing from wall to wall, losing clarity with each pass, but also gaining texture, the patina of time. And yet, because memory is an echo, it carries weight far beyond accuracy. Even when details fade, the emotional resonance remains. You may forget the words spoken, but you remember the warmth with which they were said. You may lose the sharpness of an image, but you recall the feeling that surrounded it. Emotion is the deepest echo of all. There are echoes that comfort. The echo of a song that carried you through loneliness. The echo of a hand that once steadied yours. There are echoes that haunt. The echo of a door slamming in anger. The echo of words spoken in cruelty. They reverberate in the chambers of memory, sometimes louder than the original moment itself. We live among these echoes. They shape us, guide us, and sometimes hold us prisoner. Cultures have always understood this. They have spoken of ancestors whispering through dreams, of spirits lingering in sacred places, of voices carried by wind or water. These are not fantasies. They are metaphors for memory, for the fact that the past does not vanish. It reverberates in us, through us, and sometimes despite us. The Greeks gave the name Mnemosyne to the goddess of memory. From her, they said, came the muses, the inspirations of poetry, song, and story. Even creativity, they believed, was born from echoes. No art emerges from nothing. It emerges from the reverberations of what has been before. And what is history, if not a vast echo chamber? Events long past still reach us, their voices carried forward by books, monuments, traditions. Wars fought centuries ago still echo in borders, in names, in the quiet tensions between nations. Love written in ancient poetry still echoes in the lines we speak to one another today. We are never free of the past, but perhaps freedom is not the point. Perhaps the point is to learn how to listen, to distinguish between the echoes that guide us gently forward and the ones that bind us to sorrow. Even dreams are echoes. The mind takes fragments of memory, shadows of thought, and rearranges them in new halls of imagination. The dream feels strange, yet its substance is built from reverberations of waking life. A friend appears in the wrong house. A childhood street bends into a new city. These are echoes colliding, their reflections merging, creating something unfamiliar yet deeply personal. Consider the echo of silence. Sometimes, what we remember is not sound, but its absence. The pause after a confession, the hush after a storm, the stillness of a room that was once filled with laughter. Even silence can echo, for what it reflects is the memory of what once filled it. And now, let us stretch this thought into the cosmos. The universe itself holds memory in echoes. Starlight traveling millions of years is a form of memory. The echo of a star's burning, arriving long after the star itself may have died. When you look at the night sky, you do not see the present. You see echoes. Every point of light is a memory returning across the dark. The cosmic microwave background, the faint glow of the Big Bang, is perhaps the greatest echo of all. It is the memory of creation, still humming in every direction. It reminds us that even the birth of time itself left behind a resonance that has not yet faded. So what does it mean to live with echoes? It means that nothing is isolated. Every sound, every action, every thought sends out ripples. They travel, they return, sometimes in ways we recognize, sometimes in forms we do not. Your words spoken in anger may echo in someone's heart for years. Your words spoken in kindness may echo even longer. Each choice is a vibration, a sound against the stone walls of existence. And though you cannot control how it will return, you can choose the tone you release. Think of your own mind now. How many echoes live there? How many voices do you carry? Perhaps too many. Perhaps some have grown louder than they deserve. But here in the quiet of night, you can learn to let them soften. Like sounds fading into distance, you can allow memory to echo once and twice and then rest. For not all echoes are meant to be held. Some are meant to remind you briefly, then dissolve. What remains after they fade is space, and in that space, something new can be spoken. The echo of memory is not a prison. It is a teacher. It tells us that the past is never lost, but also never fixed. It returns, yes, but always transformed. And in that transformation lies possibility. For if echoes can change, so can we. Rest now in this thought. You are an echo, carrying the voices of those before you. But you are also a voice, sending echoes forward into futures you will never see. Memory is not only what you hold, it is also what you give. Each kindness, each word, each moment of presence will one day return to someone as a gentle echo, a reminder that they were seen, that they were loved, that they mattered. So breathe deeply, let the echoes settle, and listen to the soft resonance of your own being. For you too are a memory in the making. Beneath your feet, the ground feels still. The soil rests, the stones lie silent, and the hills appear unmoving. But this stillness is an illusion. The earth is never truly quiet. It hums, it trembles, it carries echoes so deep and low that we do not notice them. A resonance woven into the bones of the planet itself. These are the earth's quiet reverberations, the hidden music of a living world. If you press your ear against the ground, you may think you hear only silence. But with sensitive instruments, scientists have discovered something remarkable. The earth is always vibrating. Even when there is no earthquake, no eruption, the planet produces a faint, endless hum. It is the sound of waves colliding across oceans, of winds brushing across mountains, of currents deep beneath the crust. These vibrations travel through rock and water, bouncing, reflecting, and returning. An echo chamber on a planetary scale. Seismologists call it microseisms. To the human ear, it is inaudible, but to delicate sensors, it is a steady chorus, the earth breathing, the earth remembering. Think of the ocean for a moment. Storms gather on distant seas, their waves colliding and pressing down on the water. The force travels through the ocean floor, into the crust, sending ripples deep into stone. Those ripples rebound, travel across continents, circle the globe. They may take hours to return, but they do return. And when they do, they are recorded as a quiet hum. Not destruction, not disaster, just the slow rhythm of a planet in motion. Imagine that. Even when the world seems calm, every shoreline is singing, and the earth carries the echoes beneath our feet. Volcanoes, too, leave their reverberations. Magma moves in chambers deep below, pressing, shifting, whispering of its restless heat. Before the eruption, before the fire breaks free, the mountain often rumbles with subtle echoes, not warnings we can always hear, but low murmurs captured by instruments, like a throat clearing before a roar. And then there are the quakes. When tectonic plates grind and slip, the shock travels outward in waves. They rebound within the planet, echoing through its core. By studying those echoes, scientists have mapped the inner Earth, its molten outer core, its solid iron heart. We cannot see the center of the planet, but we can listen to it in the same way a canyon listens to a voice. The Earth is its own cave, and earthquakes are the calls it makes, answered by echoes that circle within until they fade. But not all reverberations come from violence. Some are subtle, continuous, woven into the background of life. Wind across a forest, rain striking leaves, the footsteps of animals moving through valleys. These sounds travel, scatter, return. Every living thing contributes to the quiet resonance. Every bird call, every rustle of grass it's absorbed and re-emitted by the land itself. You may not notice it, but the world is constantly playing its own song, layered, patient, endless. Ancient cultures felt this deeply. They believed the earth spoke in tremors, that mountains groaned with age, that rivers carried voices of the gods. They built temples where echoes were strongest, designing chambers that amplified whispers so that a single voice could sound like many. To them, the reverberations of earth were sacred. They were proof that the world was alive. Perhaps they were not wrong. For science may describe frequencies, but the truth remains. The planet listens and responds. It keeps the memory of storms, the memory of footsteps, the memory of every movement that has touched its surface. There is also the heartbeat of human life. Cities have their own reverberations, the thrum of trains, the echo of footsteps in tunnels, the low vibration of machines. At night, when the city quiets, these sounds merge into a low background hum. We rarely notice it, but like the hum of the earth, it is always there. You are surrounded by reverberations, both natural and human-made, woven into a constant field of vibration. Silence is never truly silent. It is filled with echoes too gentle to hear. Consider this. The earth itself acts as a giant bell. When struck by earthquakes, by impacts, it rings. The entire planet vibrates, waves circling again and again, fading only after hours, sometimes days. After the great earthquake of 2004, the earth rang like a bell for weeks. The echoes of that single event traveled through stone and water, reminding us that we live upon a body capable of sound. Imagine standing on that bell, never hearing the note, but feeling it faintly through your bones. You were part of the resonance without even knowing. Now, think of your own body again. It, too, is an echo chamber. Your chest vibrates with every word you speak. Your heartbeat just sends pressure waves through your skin. When you place your hand against your heart, you feel its reverberation, a resonance inside a living being. The earth is no different. It breathes, It hums, it echoes. In the quiet of night, when you think the world has gone still, remember this. Beneath your bed, beneath your floor, the ground is alive with sound. It carries the memory of storms from oceans far away. It carries the whispers of rivers and winds. It carries the echoes of steps taken by creatures long gone. The earth is never mute. It is a constant dialogue, a resonance of all that has touched it. And you are part of this reverberation. Your footsteps, your voice, your breath are absorbed into the ground, reflected, carried, softened, and returned. You are not apart from the earth's hum. You are within it. So rest now. As your body softens into stillness, feel the ground beneath you. It holds not only your weight, but your sound. Every whisper, every heartbeat, every motion leaves a trace. You are woven into the quiet reverberations of the world, and long after your voice has faded, its echo will remain, carried softly through stone and soil, joining the endless hum of a living planet. The land hums softly beneath your feet, but the ocean sings. If the earth is a bell, then the sea is its endless voice, a chorus that never falls silent. Waves strike against waves, currents twist and collide, and every drop of water carries echoes farther than stone ever could. The ocean is not only vast, it is resonant. It remembers. Imagine standing at the shore at night. The air is cool, the tide is rising, and each wave breaks with a sound that is both sudden and eternal. You hear the crash, and then, softer, you hear it return, a hiss, a retreat, the echo of the wave sliding back into the sea. Every movement of water carries a memory. Each crash is not only a beginning, but also an echo of waves that broke long before. The sea is built from echoes. Every tide repeats the tide before it. Every ripple answers a ripple born in some distant storm. What you hear when you listen to the waves is not a single moment, but the layered reverberation of countless forces, all colliding, all remembered in motion. Beneath the surface, echoes live in other forms. Sound travels faster in water than in air, and it carries farther, its energy preserved by the density of the sea. That is why the ocean is full of voices. Whales sing to one another across hundreds of miles. Their songs dive deep, bounce from thermoclines, rebound from the continental shelf, and return as echoes rich with information. Each echo tells them where their companions are, how far, how near, how many. When you listen to a whale song recorded by scientists, you are not only hearing the voice of the whale, you are also hearing the shape of the ocean itself, the reflections of sound upon its invisible walls. The sea becomes a cathedral, and the whale's voice is the hymn that fills it with resonance. Humans learned to imitate this. We call it sonar, a pulse sent outward, a reflection returning. From that echo, the unseen becomes visible. We chart the ocean floor, trace the outlines of mountains hidden in darkness, map shipwrecks resting in silence. All of this is made possible because water listens and answers. The ocean does not swallow sound. It reflects it. It remembers it. And yet, not all echoes in the sea are gentle. Naval sonar can confuse whales, sending them off course, driving them into shallow waters. Even here, echoes remind us every sound we release carries consequence. It does not vanish. It travels, returns, and changes the world in ways we may not intend. The ocean holds these consequences as surely as it holds its tides. Our machines speak into the water, and the water replies, sometimes with silence, sometimes with sorrow. But beyond technology, beyond survival, there is something deeply human in listening to the sea. Stand on a cliff and close your eyes. The crash of waves is never the same twice, yet always familiar. It is variation, inside constancy, repetition, inside change. That is the essence of an echo, to remind us of what was, even as it shifts into what is. No wonder poets have always written of the sea. Its voice is the sound of memory itself. It speaks of ages long before us, and it will keep speaking long after. In myth, oceans were thought to hold the voices of gods. Sailors spoke of sirens, their songs carried on the wind, echoing across the waters. The Greeks believed the sea could answer prayers, that Poseidon's anger could be heard in storms. Even now, when thunder rolls across a bay, you hear more than sound. You hear echoes layered on echoes, the sea and sky answering one another. To ancient ears, this was divine. To modern science, it is physics. But to the heart, it remains both. Echoes in the ocean are not only sounds, they are movements too. A single wave born in a storm near Antarctica can travel across entire oceans, its energy carried for thousands of miles. By the time it reaches a distant shore, it has echoed countless times, transformed but not erased. Every surfer who rides a wave is riding not just water, but the memory of a storm half a world away. The ocean is also a keeper of silence. Deep beneath, in the abyssal plains, sound is muted, slowed, smothered by pressure. Yet even there, faint echoes persist. A submarine hum, the call of a sperm whale, the crack of shifting ice. All are carried, dampened but not gone. The deep sea is an echo chamber where silence and resonance entwine. Imagine drifting there, weightless in the dark. No sun, no stars, only the vibration of distant forces. The echoes would be your only company, faint reminders that you are not alone in the void. Think now of the connection between ocean and memory. Just as a canyon reflects your voice, the sea reflects our collective past. Every drop has been here for billions of years, cycled through clouds, rivers, and tides. The water you touch tonight once moved through glaciers, through ancient seas, through the bodies of creatures long extinct. Each molecule carries echoes of a time before time. To stand at the shore is to touch history, to feel the resonance of all life that ever was. And then there is the music of waves themselves. Scientists record it as data, but you and I feel it as rhythm. The pulse of waves against rock, the breath of tides moving in and out, the hush between surges. This is a song older than language. It soothes because it is steady, because it is endless, because it tells us. Life, like the sea, moves in cycles. Each ending is only a retreat. Each retreat is only a prelude to return. That too is an echo. The echo of continuity. the promise that what leaves will come again, though never in quite the same form. So what are ocean echoes? They are sound traveling farther than sight. They are memory carried in tides. They are the unseen made visible through reflection. They are the rhythm of life, constant, patient, never silent. As you rest tonight, imagine the sea breathing beneath the stars. Every crash is a call, every retreat an answer, and together they weave a lullaby. The ocean is speaking to itself, to the earth, to the sky, and perhaps even to you. And if you listen closely, you may hear not only water, but memory itself, returning again and again like the softest echo of eternity. Before the sea, before the mountains, before the earth itself had cooled enough for oceans to form, there was another echo. An echo not of water, nor of stone, but of fire. The first light. It came not as a whisper of sound, but as a flood of radiance, born when the newborn universe released its breath and the heat of creation spilled outward. What we call the cosmic echo is not a sound you can hear with your ears, but it is a resonance you can still feel in the silent hum of the stars above. In the beginning, there was no silence. The universe was dense, hot, a storm of particles colliding, a plasma so thick with energy that light itself could not travel freely. Imagine a fog so dense that no beam can pass through, a soup where every photon is trapped, scattering endlessly. That was the early cosmos, but time stretches everything. As the universe expanded, the fog thinned. At last, light broke free. Photons escaped the prison of plasma, racing outward, carrying with them the memory of birth. That release, that first glow, is the cosmic microwave background. It is light made into an echo, a ghost still washing across the sky. Scientists call it background radiation, but that phrase hides its poetry. It is not noise, it is a message. A whisper stretched across 13.8 billion years, still reaching us now, still filling every corner of space. When we look with sensitive instruments, we see not darkness, but a faint glow, microwaves left over from the first fire. This glow is everywhere, no matter where we turn our gaze. It is the universe's memory of its own beginning, the most ancient echo of all. Consider how strange this is. When you look at the night sky, you are not only seeing stars, you are seeing into the past. The nearest star's light left years ago. The farthest galaxy's light left billions of years ago. But the cosmic echo is older still. It comes from a time before galaxies, before stars, before planets. It is the voice of the universe itself, when it was less than a child, when it was only a seething sea of fire. We cannot hear it with our ears, but if our senses were tuned differently, the sky would never appear black. It would glow faintly with the warmth of that ancient light. It is everywhere, in every direction, constant, patient, waiting for us to notice. And when scientists did notice, when Penzias and Wilson stumbled upon the signal in 1964, they thought it was noise, perhaps bird droppings in their radio antenna. But it was not noise. It was the echo of creation, the faint background that proved the universe had a beginning, a moment of expansion, a birth. Why call it an echo? Because it is not the original voice. It is not the first explosion, not the fire itself. It is what remains after the fire has traveled, cooled, and softened. It is the reflection of that moment, stretched across time and space, returning to us now as a faint hum. Just as your voice bounces from a canyon wall, the first light has bounced across the expanding universe, its tone altered, its color stretched, yet still carrying the memory of where it began. Imagine for a moment that you could stand at the edge of that first dawn. You would see no stars. You would see only a glow everywhere at once, not blinding, but immense. That glow has not disappeared. It has only cooled, dimmed, become something we can no longer see with eyes, but can measure with machines. The cosmic echo reminds us the past does not vanish. It lingers, it whispers, it returns. And here is something even more wondrous. That faint radiation is not perfectly smooth. It carries tiny variations, minute fluctuations in temperature and density. These are the seeds of everything. Galaxies, stars, planets, all were born from those variations. The echo contains the blueprint of the universe. Within its hum is the pattern that shaped everything you know. So when you look at the stars tonight, remember, they exist because of an echo. They are the bright descendants of the first whisper, written in light across eternity. There is a lesson in this. Just as your words may echo in a canyon, just as your kindness may echo in another heart, the universe itself proves that echoes are not empty. They are creative. They shape futures. They give rise to new worlds. The cosmic echo did not fade into nothing. It became galaxies, stars, oceans, our life. It became you. Close your eyes. Breathe slowly. Feel the rhythm of your breath. This moment, this stillness, is made possible by that first echo. Without it, there would be no stars to warm the sky, no earth to cradle you, no night to lie beneath. You are not only listening to echoes, you are living inside one. The first echo of light still lingers, but it did not remain alone. From that glow came stars, and from stars came memory. Every night, when you lift your eyes to the sky, you are not only looking outward, you are looking backward. Every pinprick of light is not what it is now, but what it once was. The stars are storytellers, and their stories are written in echoes. Consider this. The nearest star beyond our sun lies more than 4 years away. That means when you see its light tonight, you are seeing it as it was 4 years ago. For others, the distance stretches into centuries, millennia, millions of years. Some galaxies shimmer faintly, their photons having traveled for billions of years before touching the back of your eye. In that instant, you receive not their present, but their past. The night sky is not a photograph of now. It is a gallery of memories, echoes still arriving, long after their origins have changed. Imagine a star on the verge of death. It burns brightly, its core trembling with exhaustion. It collapses, explodes, becomes something else. Perhaps a neutron star, perhaps a black hole. And yet, for thousands of years, after its death, its light continues to travel toward us. When you look at it tonight, you see the ghost of its fire, an echo that has outlived the star itself. So many of the stars above may already be gone, yet their echoes remain, painting the night with a memory that has not yet faded. This is the paradox of starlight. It is both presence and absence, both now and then. When you gaze upon it, you commune with ghosts. But these are not sorrowful ghosts. They are luminous. They are reminders that even in death, something continues to shine. The color of starlight also carries memory. Red stars are old, their fuel nearly gone, their glow stretched into longer wavelengths. Blue stars are young, burning hot, living fast and bright. Each hue is an echo of a star's age, its story etched in color. Astronomers read these echoes like librarians. They learn the temperature, the distance, the history of a star simply by listening to the messages hidden in its light. Every spectrum is a memory written in fire. There are echoes within echoes. Stars forge heavy elements in their hearts. When they die, they scatter those elements outward. Iron, carbon, oxygen, the building blocks of worlds and bodies. Your blood carries iron made in a star. Your breath carries oxygen born in stellar fire. You are not only made of stardust, you are made of starlight's memory. Think of this when you inhale. The air that sustains you is the echo of stars long gone. Their brilliance lingers not only in the sky, but in your lungs, in your skin, in your thoughts. And what of galaxies? Each one is a vast archive, billions of stars, each with its own echo. When we point our telescopes to distant clusters, we are not just observing light. We are witnessing memory layered upon memory, a cascade of echoes stretching across unimaginable time. Some of that light began its journey before Earth even formed, before oceans, before trees, before breath. And yet tonight it arrives to you, a traveler billions of years in flight, finally resting on your retina. Every glance upward is communion with eternity. Every star is proof that the past is never truly gone. But starlight is not only science, it is also intimacy. Think of lovers who have gazed together at the same star, generations apart. The star does not change for them. It sends its echo to both. It binds them across time. A parent points to Orion. A child years later does the same, and the starlight that touched one touches the other. The sky becomes an inheritance of echoes. Poets have always known this. They wrote of stars as memories, as lanterns of the dead, as messengers from eternity. In every culture, the night sky was a book of echoes. The constellations told stories, and those stories carried across centuries, repeated until they too became echoes of echoes. We are still telling them, still listening, still remembering. Now imagine lying beneath the sky tonight. You close your eyes, and yet the stars are still above you. Their light continues to fall, whether or not you see it. Even in dreams, you are bathed in memory. You are surrounded by whispers billions of years old, falling gently, silently, endlessly. The night is not darkness. It is saturated with echoes. You are not alone in silence. You are held in light's memory, a quilt woven from the past, wrapping you in gentle brilliance. So rest now. Know that as you breathe, that the stars breathe with you. As you drift into sleep, their echoes fall upon your skin. They do not vanish. They wait. They arrive. They remind. You are part of their story, and they are part of yours. Each heartbeat is answered by their glow. Each thought is accompanied by their hum. The stars are not only distant fires, they are memories carried across the void, arriving tonight as a gift. And if you listen closely, you can almost hear them whisper, "We are still here." Silence feels like emptiness. It feels like the world has stepped aside, leaving only stillness behind. But silence is not empty. Silence is filled with echoes, softer than sound, quieter than breath, but present all the same. An echo in silence is not the return of a voice, but the memory of what has just faded. It is the awareness that something was here, and though it has gone, its shape remains. Think of the pause after thunder. The sky tears open with a roar, and then suddenly, the air is still. But in that stillness, your chest still trembles, your ears still ring. The silence carries the echo of thunder, as though the world is still holding its breath. Or think of a song that ends. The final note dissolves, the instruments rest. The concert hall grows quiet, but the silence is not blank. It vibrates with memory, with resonance that lingers just beyond hearing. That is why audiences hesitate to clap too soon, because they can feel the echo still moving through the air. Even in daily life, silence has weight. After a conversation, when someone says something you did not expect, what matters is not always the words. What matters is the silence that follows. The pause is louder than speech. It is an echo that cannot be mistaken. We often fear silence. We rush to fill it with noise, with chatter, with distraction. But silence is not absence. It is the echo of space itself, reminding us that stillness can also speak. There is a kind of echo that lives only in memory. The silence after a loved one's voice. The silence in a room once filled with laughter. You do not hear their voices anymore, but you feel them in the quiet. That quiet is not nothing. It is their echo, held in the hollow left behind. Grief itself is an echo. It is the silence after presence, the reverberation of love that cannot find its way outward anymore. The person is gone, but their absence resonates. That resonance is the sound of memory living on in silence. Science tells us that silence is never absolute. Even in the quietest chamber, in a room designed to block every vibration, you would still hear echoes, not from outside, but from within. The beat of your heart, the rush of your blood, the whisper of air in your lungs. In the deepest silence, your body becomes the echo chamber. You discover that there is no true void, because life itself hums. Astronomers know this too. Space appears silent, a vacuum empty of sound. But silence in the cosmos is not absence. It is filled with invisible echoes, light stretched into faint signals, gravitational waves moving like whispers across galaxies. The universe is never mute. It is filled with quiet reverberations, waiting for us to learn how to listen. Silence teaches us to notice. When noise falls away, the smallest sound becomes radiant. The creak of wood, the sigh of wind, the flutter of breath. Each one becomes an echo amplified by stillness. Silence does not erase sound. It frames it, making every note into a star against the dark. This is why meditation turns to silence, because in silence you discover the echoes of your own mind. Thoughts rise, fall, and return. Each idea is a sound striking the walls of consciousness. Silence does not stop the thoughts. It allows their echoes to soften until at last they fade, leaving only stillness behind. The ancients understood this power. Monks sat in caves where echoes of their chants mingled with the silence of stone. In the stillness, they believed they could hear the divine, not as thunder, but as the faintest vibration within silence itself. For what is prayer, if not sending out a voice into quiet and waiting for an echo that is not sound, but presence? Silence is also the echo of time. Between moments, between heartbeats, there is always a pause. We rarely notice it. We think life is continuous, but it is built of countless silences, each one a tiny space where the world holds itself still. Those pauses are echoes of what has just passed, carrying us gently into what comes next. When you sit quietly at night, listen not only for sound, but for what silence contains. It holds the footsteps of the day just ended. It holds the anticipation of the dawn to come. It holds your own breath, returning again and again, a rhythm framed by stillness. Even in art, silence is echo. In music, the rest is as important as the note. Without silence, there is no rhythm, only noise. The echo of a pause gives the next sound its power. When painters leave empty spaces on canvas, and those spaces echo as loudly as color. Poets leave gaps between lines, and in those gaps, meaning reverberates. Silence is not the absence of art. It is the echo that allows art to breathe. So what are echoes in silence? They are the proof that quiet is never empty. They are the resonance of memory, the vibration of absence, the hum of life itself. Silence holds every sound that has just passed, every thought not yet spoken, every breath between. Rest within it now. Let the silence around you become a soft chamber where the echoes of your day fade into stillness. Do not fear the quiet. It is not void. It is memory, gentle and patient. It is the echo that carries you into sleep. Silence has taught us that absence is never empty. Even when all seems still, echoes live in memory, in breath, in the pauses between heartbeats. But beyond silence, beyond the stars we see and the light we know, there are echoes stranger still, echoes not only of sounds or of moments, but of entire worlds. These are the echoes of forgotten universes. The idea may sound like myth. How could there be other universes, let alone echoes of them reaching us here? And yet, both science and story whisper the same suggestion. What we call the universe may not be all that is. It may only be a chamber in a vast cathedral, its walls still carrying the reverberations of other halls beyond. Imagine a corridor lined with doors. Behind each one is a different world. Some are bright, filled with stars like ours. Some are dim, their light already fading. Some may never have formed stars at all, remaining dark, silent, unlit. You cannot open the doors, but if you press your ear against them, you hear something faint, a thrum, a murmur, an echo from beyond. This is how many scientists imagine the multiverse, not as fantasy, but as a consequence of physics. Each universe is like a bubble, expanding, colliding, sometimes leaving faint scars, the way a sound leaves a mark on stone. Our own cosmos may carry the reverberations of others, lost long ago, yet still whispering across the fabric of space-time. Think of the cosmic microwave background, that first light we spoke of. When astronomers map it in detail, they find not only smoothness, but tiny irregularities. Some believe these may be the fingerprints of other universes brushing against ours, like two echoes colliding in a cave, overlapping in strange patterns. If this is true, then the night sky is not only a memory of our universe's birth, it is also a palimpsest, a layered manuscript bearing faint lines from universes we will never see. Their echoes reach us not as sound, but as subtle variations in light, whispers too vast for the human ear, but still inscribed in the fabric of existence. And even if no instruments can confirm them, our imagination feels their pull. For who has not wondered, lying beneath the stars, whether there might be another sky, another set of eyes gazing upward, another echo of yourself in another world? This wondering itself is an echo, a reverberation of curiosity, passed from ancient storytellers to modern dreamers, a hum that says, what you see is not all there is. Forgotten universes may also live within time itself. Some cosmologists speak of cycles. A universe is born, expands, cools, fades, and then collapses, giving birth to another. Each cycle leaves behind faint traces in the one that follows. The stars we see could be the distant echoes of stars long gone, their matter reborn in new form. If so, then existence is not a single line, but a circle, a rhythm. Each universe is a note in a song that never ends, and what we live in now is only one verse, carrying the resonance of all that came before. There are myths that say the same thing. Hindu cosmology speaks of kalpas, vast ages in which the universe is created, destroyed, and created again. The Maya spoke of successive worlds, each ending in fire, water, or darkness, each replaced by another. Even in Norse legend, the cosmos was fated to end in Ragnarok, only to rise once more, reborn. These are not only stories, they are echoes of an intuition deep within humanity, that nothing ends completely, that what falls returns, that forgotten worlds are never truly lost. They reverberate in myth, in memory, in the whispers of stars. But what does it mean, here and now, to live inside the echo of forgotten universes? It means that your body carries not only the memory of this earth, but perhaps of other cycles, other ages. The atoms that form you may have belonged to stars from an older universe. Their fire burned, their light faded, but their essence was carried forward, woven into the fabric of you. You are not only a child of this cosmos, you may be an echo of countless forgotten ones. The word forgotten itself is important, for it is not that these universes did not exist. It is only that they no longer remain in memory, except faintly through traces, through reverberations. What we call forgotten is simply what has shifted beyond the reach of our sight. But echoes do not ask to be remembered. They live regardless. They travel, fade, and sometimes when the air is still enough, they return. Listen to your own thoughts for a moment. How many of them are truly yours, and how many are echoes of parents, of teachers, of ancestors you have never met? Ideas and beliefs move through generations like sound through stone, returning again and again in new forms. Entire cultures are echoes, reborn, transformed, but carrying the rhythm of what came before. In the same way, our universe may be a cultural echo of existence itself, one chapter in a book we cannot see, yet whose pages still resonate in us. There is a comfort in this. If universes themselves echo, then so do we. Nothing is entirely lost. Not moments, not worlds, not lives. They may change shape, shift tone, become unrecognizable, but they are carried forward in some form, woven into what comes next. Forgotten does not mean gone. It means transformed into echo. And perhaps this is why we dream of other worlds. Why science fiction imagines parallel timelines, and why children imagine doorways to hidden realms. The dream itself is an echo. It is memory pressing against the limits of imagination, saying softly, "There is more. Always there is more." So tonight, as you drift, picture yourself standing in a hall of mirrors. Each mirror reflects not only you, but countless variations. Some brighter, some dimmer, some strange and unfamiliar. You cannot step through, but you can feel their presence. Their echoes brush against you, subtle, invisible, yet undeniable. You are not alone in the cosmos. You are part of a resonance so large it stretches beyond comprehension. You are one vibration in a chorus of forgotten universes, singing softly through eternity. Rest in that thought. Let it carry you. You are not fragile. You are not fleeting. You are an echo, and echoes never truly end. They travel, they return, they transform. Even when the universe itself is forgotten, its reverberations will linger, soft as starlight, quiet as breath, endless as sleep. We have wandered through canyons, through oceans, through silence, and even through the vast halls of forgotten universes. Each step has shown us echoes, not just as sound, but as memory, as presence, as proof that nothing truly disappears. Now let us pause in another chamber, one made not of stone or water, but of pattern. For echoes are not only poetry, they are mathematics. They are numbers moving through air, ratios dancing in time, curves repeating across space. This is the mathematics of echoes. Imagine striking a single note on a piano. The string vibrates, the soundboard resonates, the air trembles. At first you hear only the note itself, but then, if you listen closely, you hear something else. The sound repeats in fading layers, each one softer, each one shifted slightly in tone. This is reverberation. This is echo made visible to the ear. Mathematically, it is nothing more than waves. A siny curve, rising and falling like the surface of the sea. Each reflection is a smaller version of the first, a series of diminishing arcs, a pattern that repeats into infinity, though our ears lose track of it long before it vanishes. An echo, at its heart, is geometry. The path of sound is a line, striking a wall, bouncing back, traveling again. Measure the distance, divide by the speed of sound, and you can calculate the delay. That delay is what your ear hears as echo. If you clap in a canyon and the echo returns in 2 seconds, The walls must be about 340 meters away. Your ear has become a ruler, and time itself has become distance. Mathematics allows silence to speak in numbers, but echoes are rarely so simple. Sound does not travel in a single line. It radiates outward in waves, striking many surfaces at once. Each reflection carries its own delay, its own distortion. The result is a complex pattern, layer upon layer of waves colliding. Mathematicians call this interference. Musicians call it harmony, or sometimes dissonance. Either way, it is echoes folding into one another, turning physics into music. Consider resonance. When echoes align with one another, when the timing is just right, they build instead of fade. A singer finds the precise note, and the glass shivers because the echoes inside the glass match the vibration of the note itself. The mathematics of repetition becomes amplification. What should be fragile suddenly becomes powerful. This too is echo, not a fading, but a rising, not a ghost, but a chorus. The ancients felt this long before they named it. In Pythagoras' school, music and mathematics were the same subject. The lyre string plucked at half its length sounded an octave higher. The ratio was simple, but the sound was transcendent. Numbers became echoes, and echoes became numbers. They believed the cosmos itself was built on such harmonies, planets moving in perfect ratios, a music of the spheres too vast to hear. Perhaps they were not wrong, for even now we find echoes in the laws of physics, vibrations repeated in atoms, resonances shaping galaxies, waves within waves, within waves. Think of the spiral of a seashell. Its curves echo themselves, smaller and smaller, a fractal in stone. Think of ripples on a pond. Each one is an echo of the first splash, a circle expanding, measured in symmetry. Think of your heartbeat. Each beat is an echo of the last, a rhythm both biological and mathematical. Echoes are not accidents. They are the universe following its own geometry. They are patterns too elegant to fade, written in the language of repetition. And what of time itself? Is time not a kind of echo? The past reverberating into the present into the future. Histories repeat, not exactly, but with rhythms we can trace. Economies rise and fall like waves. Seasons cycle. Generations echo those before them. The mathematics of echoes governs not only sound, but the very fabric of life. We sense it intuitively. We speak of cycles, of returns, of history rhyming. It is our way of acknowledging that the world is not a straight line. It is a spiral, an echo repeating with difference, never the same, but never entirely new. In physics, the mathematics of echoes becomes profound. Seismic waves circle the Earth, their reflections revealing the planet's interior. Light bends and echoes around black holes, producing gravitational lensing, where galaxies appear doubled, as though the cosmos itself were a hall of mirrors. Even space-time can echo. When two black holes collide, they send ripples outward. We call them gravitational waves. And when those ripples pass through us, our instruments hear the faintest hum, an echo from billions of years away, a cosmic vibration turned into measurable rhythm. So what is the mathematics of echoes beneath all the equations and graphs? It is the truth that nothing happens only once. Every event produces patterns. Every sound leaves trails. Every motion reverberates. The universe is not a sequence of isolated moments. It is a choir of repetitions, each one connected, each one echoing into the next. Now let the thought rest inside you. Your breath is an equation. Inhale, pause, exhale, pause, repeat. Your heart is a rhythm. Beat, beat, beat. Each one an echo of the last. Even your thoughts are patterns, neurons firing in waves, signals repeating across synapses. You are mathematics in motion, an echo embodied. The ratios of your bones, the spirals of your DNA, the rhythms of your sleep, all are echoes following invisible laws, numbers whispered into form. So lie quietly now, and know that the world around you is full of hidden equations. Each sound that fades is still alive in pattern. Each silence contains waves you cannot hear. Each star, each galaxy follows harmonies so deep they feel like destiny. You are not outside of this. You are one of its resonances, one curve in the infinite sine wave, one note in the endless chord. You are both echo and equation, and in the quiet of night, you can feel both at once, soft, infinite, a mathematics that hums itself to sleep. Mathematics has shown us that echoes are not accidents. They are patterns, laws written into waves and spirals, resonances that shape both sound and time. But not all echoes belong to the outer world. Some live entirely within. They arrive when the body rests, when the mind drifts loose from the weight of waking life. These are the echoes of dreams. Close your eyes. The day begins to dissolve. Its voices, its noise, its demands scatter like leaves in the wind, but they do not vanish. They fall softly into the chambers of the mind, where memory, imagination, and longing combine into echoes stranger than anything daylight permits. Dreams are not inventions out of nothing. They are reverberations, fragments of what you have seen, what you have feared, what you have desired. In dreams, these fragments collide like waves, overlapping, reshaping, returning in forms both familiar and impossible. You walk into a house you know well, but the hall is too long. The walls ripple like water. Your grandmother greets you, but her voice comes from the mouth of a bird. You try to speak, and your words scatter into 1,000 echoes, each one chasing the other down the endless corridor. This is the language of dreams, echoes that have slipped free of reason. Memory and imagination reflect one another until neither knows which was first. Science tells us that dreams arise in sleep's deepest theaters, especially in REM, when the eyes move rapidly behind closed lids and the brain sparks with near-waking activity. But activity does not mean order. It means waves colliding. It means echoes bouncing inside the skull, memories stitched to images, emotions woven to visions. When you dream of flying, perhaps it is the echo of a falling sensation reversed. When you dream of being chased, perhaps it is the echo of fear carried from your day. When you dream of someone long gone, perhaps it is their voice echoing in memory, refusing to fade. And yet, dreams are not only reflections of the past, they are also rehearsals for the future. The brain throws shadows of possibilities before you, testing them in silence, asking what you would do. In this way, dreams are echoes not only of what was, but of what may be. They are memory bent toward prophecy. Think of the artist who wakes with a melody that no one has yet sung. Think of the writer who dreams a scene before the words are written. Think of the scientist who sees, in sleep, the answer to a puzzle unsolved by daylight. These are echoes too, not of what has been, but of what could be. The dream is an echo sent forward, a voice returning from tomorrow. But dreams can also be haunting. The echo of trauma repeats itself at night, returning in visions that cannot be silenced. The mind replays what it cannot yet resolve, as if hoping that through repetition, the echo will soften. And sometimes it does. Therapists speak of dreams as a form of healing, the psyche whispering to itself until the wound begins to mend. Even nightmares are echoes, loud and jarring, but echoes nonetheless, memories insisting on being heard. Cultures across time have treated dreams as sacred echoes. In Mesopotamia, kings consulted dream interpreters, believing the gods spoke in reverberations of sleep. In ancient Egypt, temples were built where seekers lay down to dream, hoping for divine answers. The Greeks, too, trusted that dreams carried messages, echoes of gods moving through the sleeping mind. Even in modern times, we speak of dream symbolism, archetypes, collective memory. These are ways of saying dreams are not only your echoes, they are humanity's echoes, reflections of stories told across centuries. Think of recurring dreams, the same place, the same chase, the same fall. Why do they return? Because echoes do not always fade at once. They rebound, crossing the chamber again and again until at last they are absorbed. A recurring dream is a stubborn echo demanding your attention. It is the mind calling back to itself, saying, "Listen, do not forget me yet." Even daydreams are echoes. You sit quietly, your mind drifts, and suddenly you are elsewhere. Not in this room, not in this time, but walking along an old street, or imagining a path you have never taken. These are softer echoes, gentle reverberations of desire and memory. They do not shout, they hum, like distant waves against the shore of thought. The mathematics of echoes applies here too. Dreams are interference patterns. One memory overlaps another. One fear collides with one hope. The resulting image is not logical, but it carries truth. It is a waveform of the mind, a superposition of echoes collapsing into story. This is why dreams feel both strange and meaningful. They are distorted, but within the distortion is a pattern that speaks to you, even if you cannot name it. Think of your life as a long corridor. Each day you speak, each day you listen, and each day those sounds are stored in the walls. When you sleep, the corridor releases them. Some voices come back clearly, some come back twisted, but all of them are yours, returning in echo. The dream is not separate from you. It is you in reverberation, you in dialogue with your own memory. And in this, there is comfort. For even when no one hears you, your dreams hear you. They listen, they return, they remind. You are never voiceless in the chambers of sleep. Every thought finds an echo. There is also a gentleness in dreams. Not every echo must be sharp. Some are whispers, like the echo of a lullaby half remembered. A melody drifts into your sleep, not clear, not whole, but enough to soothe. It does not matter whether the song was sung by a mother, a friend, or the wind itself. It has become an echo now, a tender hand reaching across the dark. So, what are the echoes of dreams? They are the mind reflecting itself. They are memories softened into image, fear sharpened into story, hope projected into possibility. They are fragments of past and future meeting in the theater of sleep. In every dream, you are both the voice and the canyon. You are the one who speaks and the one who listens. You are the echo returning to yourself. Lie quietly now. Let today's voices scatter. They will not vanish. They will fall gently into your mind, where they will reflect, resonate, and perhaps return tonight as a dream. Do not be afraid of them. They are not foreign. They are your own echoes, softer than memory, stranger than thought, gentler than silence. And when you wake, you will carry them with you, reminders that even in rest, your being is never still. It is always echoing, always whispering, always dreaming. Dreams carry us into inner echoes, but before dreams, before mathematics, before science itself, there were voices in stone, there were caves, and there was the first astonishment, the wonder of hearing a sound return. This is the story of stone, cave, and voice. Imagine the earliest humans entering a cavern. The fire flickers on damp walls, casting shadows that shift like spirits. One of them, curious, calls out. The sound leaps into the darkness, vanishes, and then returns. Not quite the same, but eerily familiar. It is as if the cave itself has spoken. What must that moment have felt like? A discovery older than writing, older than myth, older even than language. The realization that the world replies, that the void is not silent, but reflective. The echo was perhaps the first magic, the first sign that existence was alive. Caves are the oldest echo chambers. Their walls are irregular, their passages twist, their ceilings arch like cathedral domes. When a voice enters, it does not simply return once. It fragments, it multiplies, it lingers. One shout may become a dozen whispers, each chasing the other through stone. To stand inside is to hear yourself transformed. Your own voice becomes larger, stranger, more than human. It is no wonder that caves became sacred places. Here, the world itself seemed to speak back. Here, the boundaries between self and environment dissolved. Ancient paintings still stain those cavern walls. Bison, horses, spirals, handprints. Why paint them there, in darkness, where so few could see? Perhaps because the cave was already alive with echoes. The images were companions to the voices. The handprints were signatures not only of presence, but of reverberation, a way of saying, I am here, and here, and here again. Some archaeologists suggest that early art was made where echoes were strongest, where a clap would rebound richly, where a song would multiply. The paintings and the sounds were part of the same ritual. Echoes in stone, echoes in pigment, echoes in memory. There is an intimacy in stone. Strike it and it sings, though slowly, deeply, with tones the body feels more than hears. Stones keep vibrations long after wood or water release them. A drum may fade in seconds, but a cave holds resonance for ages. It remembers. The very earth is built of these resonances. Tectonic plates groan against one another. Mountains sigh under their own weight. If we could amplify these sounds, the world would roar with echo. What we perceive as silence is only our ears, unable to hear low enough. In myth, caves became thresholds. Oracles spoke from them, their voices doubled by echoes, sounding less like human speech and more like prophecy. Hermits retreated into them, seeking silence but finding companionship in reverberation. Gods were said to dwell inside them, for where else could the unseen world announce itself so clearly? Even today, when you step into a cavern, the feeling remains. It is not only the dark that unsettles, but the sense that the space is alive, that your smallest whisper will not remain your own. Consider how voice itself is shaped by stone. Before microphones, before architecture tamed acoustics, stone chambers were the first amplifiers. Cathedrals are only caves refined by human hands, arches and vaults designed to harness echo. Priests learned to chant slowly, to allow the words to return before the next was spoken. The building itself was part of the liturgy. The stone sang with the congregation, but there is also fragility in echoes of stone. Too many reflections blur into noise. What begins as clarity dissolves into confusion. Anyone who has shouted in a cavern knows this. The sound grows chaotic, impossible to separate. It becomes not a voice, but a storm. There is a lesson here. Echoes need space. Too many reflections, and meaning is lost. So it is with memory, so it is with thought. The cave reminds us, reverberation is beautiful, but only when given room to breathe. Let us return to the image of that first human, hearing their voice return from the dark. Did they recognize it as their own, or did they believe another was speaking? Perhaps they laughed, delighted to hear a companion in emptiness. Perhaps they trembled, believing they had awakened a spirit. Both responses are true, for the echo is indeed a spirit, not supernatural, but natural, yet no less mysterious. It is you and not you. It is voice and ghost. In many traditions, caves are linked to rebirth. One enters the darkness, the chamber of echoes, and emerges transformed. It is the same journey as sleep, as dream, as death. Always there is the passage through silence and resonance. Always there is that echo that guides you back. To hear your own voice doubled is to realize you are not alone. To see your handprint beside those of the dead is to realize you are part of a chain of echoes longer than time. Even now, modern explorers describe awe in deep caverns. They shout a name, and it returns multiplied. They strike a stone, and the vibration lingers in their bones. Technology may explain the physics, but it cannot erase the feeling that the cave itself remembers. Stone, cave, and voice. Three elements woven together, teaching us that sound is never solitary, that the world replies, that memory can be carved into both air and wall. When you next step into a quiet room or place your palm against cool rock, remember this lineage. Your voice belongs not only to you, it belongs to the chamber it enters. It belongs to the echoes that carry it forward. And as you lie in bed tonight, walls around you, roof above you, you too are in a kind of cave. Your breath will not vanish. It will reflect softly from the surfaces. Your body will not dissolve into silence. It will hum faintly, your heartbeat echoing within ribs of bone. You are surrounded by stone, by chamber, by voice. You are part of the same story that began when the first human shouted into darkness and heard themselves answered. So rest gently in this truth. The world remembers you, even in the faintest whisper. Every room, every wall, every stone carries echoes of your presence. Nothing is lost, not sound, not memory, not you. Stone and cave have taught us that the world holds memory. But there is another chamber of echoes, closer, more intimate, one you carry always within you. It is your chest. It is your pulse. It is the soundless drum that marks your life, again and again, a rhythm that began before you were born and will cease only when you leave. This is the echo of the heartbeat. Close your eyes. Place your hand upon your chest. Beneath skin and bone, there is motion, not a single strike, but a pattern repeated without pause. Lub-dub, lub-dub, a call and a response. Your heart is not only beating, it is echoing. Each contraction answers the last. Each pause prepares the next. You live within this resonance. The heart begins long before breath. In the womb, before you have seen light, before you have spoken, there is rhythm. Cells tremble in unison, sending pulses outward, as though the body knows that to live is to echo. That first beat is not only yours, it is an inheritance, for the rhythm is ancient. Your mother carried it, and her mother before her. Each heartbeat is an echo of generations, a biological memory carried forward, one chamber answering another across time. Listen to the way it steadies you. In fear, it races. In calm, it slows. In love, it leaps. In grief, it drags. Yet always it returns to rhythm, to the endless echo of life itself. Even when you do not notice it, your heart is drumming quietly in the background, a lullaby written in flesh. Every silence you sit in is filled with this music. Every night you sleep is guarded by its pulse. Science tells us the heart is a pump, a muscle contracting, forcing blood through vessels. But this description is pale beside the truth. The heart is not only muscle, it is metronome, it is memory, it is echo. When doctors place stethoscopes against your chest, they do not hear only one beat. They hear the reflection of chambers opening and closing, valves snapping shut, blood surging in rhythm. Each sound is the echo of structure. Each echo is proof that life is flowing. Consider how sound travels through the body. The heart's rhythm sets vibrations into your ribs. They carry into your lungs, into your throat. Sometimes, when silence is deep enough, you can feel it in your ears, a faint rush, a low drum. Your whole body becomes a resonant chamber, an echoing shell carrying the song of its own existence. In myth and poetry, the heart has always been more than flesh. It is the seat of love, the core of courage, the mirror of truth. Why? Because its rhythm is undeniable. You cannot lie to your heart. When you are afraid, it tells you. When you are moved, it tells you. When you are calm, it tells you. It echoes your inner state, whether you admit it or not. There are moments when the heart falters. Arrhythmia, medicine calls it. The rhythm disrupted, the echo broken. We fear this, because it reminds us how fragile the song is. But even then, the heart fights to return to pattern. It seeks rhythm, the way all echoes seek their source. Think of two hearts together, a parent holding a child against their chest, a lover resting in the hollow of another's shoulder. Listen closely, and you will find that the rhythms align. They entrain, falling into harmony. Each heartbeat becomes an echo of the other. Two bodies become one chamber. This is why intimacy soothes us. It is not only warmth or touch, it is resonance. It is echoes colliding until they move as one. Even in death, the heartbeat echoes onward. The rhythm ceases, but its memory remains in those who listened to it, who shared its chamber. We say we carry someone in our heart. What we mean is that their rhythm has become part of our own. Their echo has entered us, and though their drum has stopped, it continues faintly beating within memory. Across cultures, drums are sacred because they mimic the heart. The steady thump connects ritual to life itself. When a drum beat surrounds a fire, when feet stamp in rhythm, what you hear is not only music, it is the echo of countless heartbeats layered into one. The drum is not separate from us, it is us amplified. Think now of the earth's hum, the ocean's resonance, the stars' vibration. Your heartbeat is their mirror in miniature. It is the cosmic rhythm scaled into flesh. You are not apart from the universe. You are its echo. The same laws that govern galaxies govern your pulse. The same mathematics that shapes waves shapes your rhythm. So what are echoes of the heartbeat? They are the proof that life is continuity. They are the rhythm that steadies silence. They are the memory of ancestry, the chorus of intimacy, the drum of existence itself. As you lie here, listen not only with your ears, but with your whole being. Feel the thrum inside. It is not noise. It is not random. It is your echo. It is the universe repeating itself in you. Rest gently in that rhythm. Let it soothe you as it has soothed you since before you had words. With each beat, know that you are carried, remembered, sustained, and when you drift into sleep, the echo will continue, soft, steady, guiding you deeper into silence, reminding you that you are alive, you are held, you are part of the endless song. The heartbeat is a chamber of echoes close to the body, but above, in the vast dark beyond breath and bone, there are rhythms more immense, vibrations so powerful they shake the very fabric of space-time. These are celestial echoes, the reverberations of the cosmos itself. Look upward. The stars appear silent. The sky seems still, yet nothing in the heavens is motionless and nothing is mute. Every star, every planet, every galaxy sends waves outward, echoes born of fire and gravity, rippling through the void. Some echoes travel as light, carrying the memory of brilliance across millions of years. Others move as soundless tremors, gravitational waves bending the weave of reality. We cannot hear them with ears, but we can measure their hum, the universe singing to itself in frequencies beyond our senses. Consider pulsars, the remnants of massive stars collapsed into neutron cores. They rotate with astonishing speed, spinning dozens, even hundreds of times each second. Each rotation sends a pulse of radio waves across the cosmos, a lighthouse beam sweeping endlessly through space. These pulses are echoes, regular as heartbeats, steady as clocks. Astronomers tune into them, listening as if to cosmic metronomes, timekeepers for the universe. When you hear a pulsar's signal translated into sound, it clicks like a drumbeat, an otherworldly rhythm. It is the echo of a star long dead, its fire extinguished, but its rotation continuing, a ghost still speaking across light years. And then there are black holes. They seem silent, devouring all that nears them, yet even here there are echoes. When two black holes spiral toward collision, they stir space-time itself. Their dance sends ripples outward, waves traveling at the speed of light, stretching and squeezing everything in their path. We call them gravitational waves. They are echoes not of sound, but of gravity. In 2015, for the first time, humanity heard them. The LIGO detectors in the United States picked up a faint signal, a tiny quiver in space-time itself. It was the echo of two black holes colliding 1 billion years ago. Their voices reached us at last, not in thunder, but in the softest tremor. It was proof that even the silent giants of the cosmos cannot resist echoing. Celestial echoes live also in light itself. When a supernova explodes, its blast can illuminate dust clouds light years away. That light bounces, reflects, returns to us later than the direct flash. We call this a light echo. It is as if the universe has replayed the event, a memory projected onto the sky. Through such echoes, astronomers study explosions long after they have ended, listening not only to what was, but to what has returned. The cosmos becomes its own archive, a hall of mirrors where even catastrophe finds remembrance in reflection. There are quieter celestial echoes too, the whispers of comets as they sweep around the sun, leaving trails of dust that scatter light like echoes of their passing. The shimmer of auroras on Earth, where solar winds strike our atmosphere, producing lights that are echoes of distant storms on the sun. The rings of Saturn, rippling with waves, stirred by the tug of moons, patterns that echo gravitational conversations billions of years old. The heavens are never silent. They are filled with reverberations, if only we learn how to listen. Think of galaxies themselves. Each one rotates slowly, its arms spiraling outward. The stars within them move in waves, like ripples across a pond. Collisions between galaxies, immense, violent, yet drawn out over millions of years, send echoes through the cosmic web. Streams of stars are pulled and stretched, their orbits altered, their light reshaped. What we see through telescopes now are the echoes of those encounters, scars glowing softly in the night. And then, even larger, the background hum of the universe, not the microwave echo of the Big Bang, but something quieter, deeper. Astrophysicists believe the universe may be filled with a faint, constant symphony of gravitational waves produced by countless black holes, by galaxies colliding, by ancient events we will never see. Together, they form a cosmic chorus, a low resonance across space-time. We cannot yet hear it clearly, but the instruments are learning. One day, we may listen to the entire universe as though it were a single, vast orchestra. Celestial echoes remind us of scale. Our voices fade in seconds. The ocean's hum lasts minutes, hours. The Earth's tremors can ring for days, but stars echo for millennia, galaxies for billions of years, and the universe itself, its echoes may outlast everything, rippling on, even when no eyes remain to see, no ears remain to listen. But echoes are not only for science, they are also for wonder. When you look up at night, you are not only seeing stars, you are witnessing the echoes of their lives. Every twinkle is a voice returning. Every shimmer is a memory. You are standing in the middle of an echo chamber, so vast it defies imagination. And perhaps, if life exists elsewhere, there are others standing in their own echo chambers, gazing upward, listening, wondering, sending their own voices into the void. Perhaps one day, their echoes will meet ours. So what are celestial echoes? They are the universe reminding us that nothing is lost, that even collapse, even silence, even death becomes vibration, that the cosmos itself is a resonant body, a drum stretched with stars, a chamber filled with invisible song. Lie quietly now. Picture yourself floating in that cosmic music. Around you, pulsars tick like clocks, supernovae flare and return in light echoes, black holes murmur with gravity, galaxies hum with slow rotation. You are part of this orchestra. Your heartbeat is only one rhythm in a symphony without end. Rest in it. Let it carry you, for you are not separate from the stars. You are their echo, and they are yours. The stars echo in their silence, their pulses and waves returning across eternity. But echoes are not confined to stone or ocean or sky. They live also in us, in what we create, in the ways we try to remember ourselves. This is the story of echoes in art. Art begins as an impulse, a hand moving across stone, a voice lifted into song, a body turning in rhythm. But it is never only the act itself. It is what remains, what carries forward, what reverberates after the gesture has ended. Every painting, every poem, every melody is an echo of something deeper, a memory, a dream, a feeling too large to stay silent. When the hand leaves its mark on the cave wall, when the drumbeat fades, when the dancer's foot stills, the echo continues. In the minds of others, in the air, in the centuries that follow. Art is the human way of echoing. Think of music. A single note struck on a violin does not vanish. It vibrates through wood, through strings, through air. It lingers in the hall, each reflection layering upon the last. What you hear as richness, as beauty, is reverberation, echo transformed into harmony. Even silence in music is an echo. The rest between notes does not erase sound. It frames it. It allows the echo of the last note to bloom. Without that space, music would collapse into noise. And when you leave a concert, the melody still plays inside you. You hum it on the way home. You recall it days later. It rises in dreams. The echo continues long after the sound has stopped. Poetry is no different. A poem is not only words. It is rhythm, cadence, the echo of thought shaped into language. When you read a line, it does not remain on the page. It repeats in your mind over and over, like footsteps in memory. Consider how certain verses linger for years. Perhaps you do not recall the whole poem, but a single line returns at unexpected times. When you are walking, when you are grieving, when you are in love, that is an echo. The poem lives on, not because ink survives, but because sound and meaning reverberate inside you. Painting, too, is echo. Each brushstroke carries the memory of a gesture. The motions of the artist's hand remains visible centuries later. When you stand before a canvas, you do not only see color, you feel the echo of the hand that moved, the heartbeat that guided it. The painting is a frozen resonance, a vibration stilled but not silenced. Even abstract art, lines, shapes, forms, is an echo of thought made visible. The image is not random. It reverberates with feeling, with rhythm, with memory. Architecture turns entire buildings into echoes. A cathedral amplifies whispers into choirs. A temple aligns with the sun so that each year light returns in perfect reflection. The building itself becomes a resonant chamber, an echo frozen in stone. Every city is a collection of echoes, old walls carrying voices long gone, streets reverberating with the footsteps of generations. To walk through an ancient place is to hear echoes you cannot name, but which surround you nonetheless. Dance is the echo of motion. The body arcs, twists, falls, rises. The moment passes, but the memory remains in those who watch. Long after the dancer has left the stage, you recall the gesture. Your own body remembers it, aching to repeat it. That memory is an echo movement carried forward in you. And even storytelling is echo. A tale told once becomes legend. Legends repeat, transform, spread. Each retelling is an echo of the first, changed by voice and time, but still carrying the original vibration. Myths are echoes across millennia. They reverberate through cultures, through languages, through imaginations. You may think them distant, but when you speak of heroes, when you dream of journeys, you are repeating the same echoes that first sounded in fireside stories thousands of years ago. Why does art echo so powerfully? Because it arises from what is already echoing within us. Love, grief, wonder, fear, these are not static. They repeat, they resound, they demand release. Art is the shape we give to those reverberations, and once released, they echo again in others. A song written by one becomes the memory of millions. A painting made in solitude becomes the vision of generations. A story whispered in one heart becomes the heartbeat of a people. Art is the human echo made immortal. Think of how certain works outlast time. The pyramids rising from desert silence. The frescoes of Michelangelo singing across centuries. The notes of Bach still echoing in concert halls, still teaching ears that were not yet imagined when he lived. These are not artifacts, they are resonances. They prove that the human voice, when given form in art, never fully dies. It continues to echo long after breath has ended. And there are smaller echoes, quieter but no less powerful. A child drawing with crayons, their lines an echo of joy. A friend humming absent-mindedly, their melody an echo of comfort. Even these minor gestures ripple outward, touching others, carrying memory. No echo is wasted. No art is without reverberation. Art itself teaches us how to listen, To stand before a painting is to listen with the eyes. To read a poem is to hear with the mind. To sit in silence after music is to feel the echo in the body. These experiences remind us that art is not decoration. It is resonance. It is how humanity answers its own voice. So what are echoes in art? They are the proof that expression never ends with the moment. They are memory carved into sound and stone. They are whispers caught in rhythm and rhyme. They are the human attempt to echo the universe itself, to mirror the reverberations of oceans and stars with brushes and strings and words. Rest now. Imagine yourself in a gallery where every wall hums with paintings, in a hall where every note still lingers, in a library where every line breathes softly. You are surrounded by echoes of art, echoes of lives, echoes of voices that will never meet you yet still reach you. You are part of this chain. What you create, what you speak, what you leave behind will echo too. In someone's memory, in someone's dream, in someone's silence. Art is humanity's way of promising itself that nothing vanishes without leaving resonance. And you, as you drift into sleep, are already an artist. Your breath, your thoughts, your very heartbeat are part of the great gallery of echoes hanging invisibly in the air, waiting to be remembered. Art carries the echo of human voices, but beyond the canvas, beyond the song, there are echoes vaster still. They belong not only to individuals, but to entire peoples, entire civilizations that once lived, thrived, and then were lost. These are the echoes of lost civilizations. Walk among the ruins. Stone pillars rise broken against the sky. Walls are worn smooth by centuries of wind. The voices that built them are gone, yet the air still trembles faintly, as though remembering. Every civilization is a sound released into time. Some ring loudly, reaching across oceans. Others are whispers, as barely heard before fading. But none vanish without leaving resonance. Think of Mesopotamia, the cradle of writing, where cuneiform marks pressed into clay echoed the voices of kings, of merchants, of poets. Those tablets were buried, forgotten for millennia, yet when unearthed, they spoke again. The echoes returned, letters carrying across thousands of years. Think of Egypt. The pyramids rise like frozen echoes, vast reverberations of ambition and faith. Each stone is a syllable, each corridor a chamber of resonance. Though dynasties crumbled, though languages shifted, their presence still hums, a song in stone that refuses to fade. Consider Greece. Its theaters, carved into hillsides, were built to carry voices without amplification. One actor's cry could reach the furthest seat, an echo designed by stone itself. Those plays still live, not only in texts, but in performances repeated for centuries. Every stage is an echo of the first, every audience a chamber reflecting ancient words. Rome, too, echoes. Aqueducts stretch like frozen rivers. Colosseums stand as shells where crowds once roared. The stones remember. You can still hear the murmur if you listen closely, not with ears, but with imagination. And beyond the familiar empires, there are others, less remembered but no less resonant. The Maya, whose temples aligned with the stars. The Inca, whose roads still wind across mountains. The Indus Valley people, whose seals carry symbols no one can yet read. Their languages may be silent, their songs forgotten, but the echoes remain in architecture, in artifacts, in the patterns of descendants who still walk their lands. What does it mean to call these civilizations echoes? It means they are not entirely gone. It means they still reverberate in us. Our alphabets, our philosophies, our laws, all are echoes of voices long faded. Even when we do not notice, we speak with borrowed resonance. The concept of democracy, the structure of roads, the stories of gods, all are ancient reverberations woven into modern life. There is beauty and sorrow in this realization. For some, echoes are faint. Entire peoples have left almost nothing. Ruins swallowed by jungle, cities buried beneath sand, names erased from record. We strain to hear them, pressing our ears to silence, hoping for the faintest reply. Archaeologists dig not only for artifacts, they dig for resonance. A shard of pottery, a carved stone, a scrap of text. Each is an echo. Each is a voice returned from silence. And even when physical traces vanish, there are subtler echoes. Languages carry them. When you speak a word, you may be repeating syllables once spoken thousands of years ago. The sounds have shifted, the meanings changed, but the resonance is still there. Customs, too, are echoes. The way we bury our dead, the festivals we celebrate, the rhythms of harvest and prayer. Many are inheritances from civilizations forgotten. You may not know their names, but their reverberations shape your days. In myth, lost civilizations echo even more strongly. Atlantis, the sunken city, is an echo of longing for golden ages, for wisdom lost, for voices drowned but still murmuring beneath the sea. Shambhala, the hidden kingdom, is an echo of hope, a place where harmony still sings, waiting to return. These myths are themselves reverberations, not records of fact, but reflections of yearning. Even imagination has echoes, passed down until they feel as real as stone. Why do echoes of lost civilizations matter? Because they remind us that nothing is truly erased. Time may bury, but resonance remains. The pyramids still rise, the poems of Homer still speak. Even forgotten names linger in the way we live, in the paths we walk, in the tools we use. And because they remind us that we too are temporary, our cities will one day be ruins. Our languages will fade, our voices will fall silent, but echoes will endure. Some stone will remain, some fragment will carry forward, some pattern will repeat. We will become echoes as they did. There is humility in this thought, but also comfort. To be an echo is not to be nothing. It is to be carried. It is to continue in ways unseen. When you walk among ruins, you are not separate from them. Your footsteps join the resonance. Your breath mingles with the air once filled by others. You become part of the same chamber of memory. So rest tonight with this image, an endless hall of civilizations, each one singing, each one fading, each one leaving echoes that ripple forward. You are hearing them even now, in your words, in your stories, in the very shape of your world. You are not living apart from history. You are living within its reverberations. And one day, you will become an echo for those yet to come. Civilizations rise and fall, their voices carried forward as echoes in stone and story. But beneath those grand arcs of time, there is something more precise, more exacting, the hidden law that allows any echo to exist at all. This is the physics of reverberation. Begin with a sound. It could be a clap of hands, a single word, a note struck on a string. The sound travels outward, not as a solid thing, but as a wave. Molecules of air nudging one another, like dancers passing a gesture across a floor. This wave moves until it strikes a surface. Stone, wood, water, flesh, all become mirrors. The sound rebounds, returns, softens, stretched, or fractured. That is the echo. But when a sound reflects not once, but many times, bouncing between walls and ceilings, overlapping with itself, we hear something richer. We hear reverberation. Imagine standing in a cathedral. You sing a single note. The walls catch it, return it, scatter it. Your ears receive not one reflection, but thousands, arriving at slightly different times. They blend together, filling the air with resonance. You are no longer singing alone. The building is singing with you. This is reverberation, a cloud of echoes woven into one sustained sound. Mathematically, reverberation is decay. Each reflection is weaker than the last. Energy lost to friction, to absorption, to transformation. But the pattern continues, a long tail of diminishing echoes stretching into silence. Acousticians measure it as RT60, the time it takes for a sound to decay by 60 decibels. In a concert hall, this may be 2 seconds, long enough for music to bloom. In a small room, it may be less than a heartbeat. Each space has its own signature. Each space carries its own echo. Even nature knows this physics. Canyons reverberate with thunder. Caves multiply whispers into choirs. Forests scatter bird calls, their trunks and leaves fracturing sound into faint patterns that fade into the distance. The earth itself reverberates. Seismic waves circle the globe after great earthquakes, overlapping, repeating, softening with time. By listening to these reverberations, scientists map the hidden layers of the planet. They read the earth as if it were a drum, its shell vibrating with every strike. Water has its own reverberation. Drop a stone into a pond. Ripples spread outward, strike the banks, reflect back, collide with new ripples. The surface becomes a pattern of interference, waves amplifying or canceling one another. The pond is not silent. It is alive with echoes, a visible metaphor for reverberation in air. The ocean magnifies this further. Whales send low songs across hundreds of miles. Those notes bounce from layers of water, from the seafloor, from the edges of continents. They return changed, overlapping, multiplying. The sea becomes a chamber, a cathedral without walls. Even the sky reverberates. Thunder rolls because the sound of lightning reflects from clouds, from mountains, from layers of air. It stretches into a long growl, a sound much bigger than its source. Every storm is an orchestra of reverberation. In physics, reverberation is more than sound. Light, too, can reverberate. A laser bounced between mirrors creates echoes of photons, a resonance of brightness. Particles reverberate in accelerators, spinning in loops, each circuit an echo of motion. Even space-time reverberates. Gravitational waves, born from colliding black holes, circle outward, their ripples overlapping across the universe. The cosmos itself hums with echoes too deep for us to hear. But what does a reverberation mean for us? It means that no sound, no action, no thought exists in isolation. Everything repeats, everything spreads. Even a whisper in the smallest room creates ripples that shape the air, the walls, the memory of the moment. You are always surrounded by reverberations, though most are too faint to notice. The shuffle of your footsteps, the brush of your sleeve, the creak of wood beneath you, all linger for fractions of a second, echoes layered into the fabric of the present. There is poetry in this physics, for reverberation is how the world remembers briefly. It is the delay that allows a sound to be more than itself. Without reverberation, music would be dry, flat, lifeless. Without reverberation, voices would vanish instantly, leaving no sense of space. It is the echo that gives life to sound, and perhaps the same is true beyond sound. Perhaps memory itself is a reverberation, thoughts bouncing in the chambers of the mind, repeating, softening, fading slowly. Perhaps history is a reverberation, events returning in cycles, each time weaker or transformed, but still present. Perhaps existence itself is built on echoes, from the smallest particle to the largest galaxy. Consider how reverberation comforts us. When you sing in a bathroom, the tiles return your voice warmly, making it sound larger, more beautiful. You are not only yourself in that moment, you are yourself plus the echo. The room becomes part of your song. In the same way, when you speak into the world answers. Sometimes in sound, sometimes in silence, sometimes in ways you will never hear. But always there is resonance, always there is return. So what is the physics of reverberation? It is the law that nothing ends instantly, that energy lingers, that every act creates a tale, a continuation, a memory in vibration. It is proof that the universe listens, that the world does not swallow sound whole, but carries it, transforms it, lets it fade only slowly. Lie quietly now. Imagine yourself inside a vast hall, your voice rising once. Listen as it scatters, returns, multiplies. The hall is alive with your presence. The echoes fade, but not at once. They remain long enough to remind you, you are here. You have touched the air. You will not be forgotten instantly. The same is true in life. Every word, every gesture, every heartbeat reverberates. Even when it fades from hearing, it continues in ways unseen. Rest in that truth. You are not a single sound. You are a resonance. And long after the first strike has ended, the reverberation carries you forward, soft, steady, like a lullaby of physics itself. Reverberation has shown us that nothing fades at once, that sound lingers, that memory clings to air and stone. But what happens when echoes stretch farther than hearing, farther even than light? What happens when the universe itself expands so greatly that its voices drift beyond our reach? These are the echoes of silence beyond. Look at the night sky. It feels infinite, yet what you see is only a fraction. The stars visible to your eyes, the galaxies caught in telescopes. They are close, neighbors in a universe far larger than imagination allows. For every star you see, there are countless more that no light will ever reach you from. Why? Because space itself is stretching. Galaxies recede. The farther they are, the faster they move, and some drift so quickly that their light stretches into wavelengths too long for us to detect. They fade not because they stop shining, but because their echoes slip beyond the horizon of our perception. This horizon is called the cosmic event horizon. It is the edge of what we can ever know. Beyond it, galaxies continue, stars burn, worlds turn, but their light will never arrive. They are not gone, but they are silent to us. They are echoes traveling forever, lost beyond the walls of our hearing. Imagine standing in a canyon, calling out, and knowing that your voice carries endlessly forward, but the walls are too far away to return it. The sound is not lost, it travels on, but for you, there is only silence. So it is with the universe. Astronomers tell us that the night sky is thinning. Slowly, over billions of years, galaxies will drift farther apart. One by one, they will pass beyond our cosmic horizon. Future observers may see only the faint glow of their own galaxy, surrounded by emptiness. The universe will seem silent, though in truth it will still hum, its voices only hidden beyond reach. This is silence beyond, not the absence of sound, but the loss of return. Echoes that travel but never come back. And yet, there is something profoundly moving in this, for it means that even silence is full of echoes. The space between stars, the void between galaxies, the vast darkness beyond vision, all of it is saturated with vibrations, with light stretched thin, with whispers that began long ago. We live in a universe where nothing is truly gone. It may fade beyond perception, but it continues. Every star, every word, every heartbeat sends ripples outward, some of which will never return, but all of which endure. Think of this in human terms. When you speak to someone, sometimes they answer, and that echo comforts you. Other times, your words seem to vanish. But do they vanish? No. They remain in memory, in consequence, in the shape of the world you have touched. Even unanswered words are echoes. They ripple in silence beyond hearing. Silence beyond is not emptiness. It is fullness so vast that we cannot contain it. It is memory traveling farther than recognition. It is echoes carrying into infinities where we cannot follow. Consider black holes. To cross their event horizon is to enter silence beyond, not because the object that falls is destroyed instantly, but because no signal can return. Its echo continues inward, but never outward. From outside, we hear only silence. From within, perhaps there is still resonance. A story we will never know, an echo that belongs to another chamber. And what of death? Is it not also a kind of silence beyond? The voice no longer answers, the heartbeat no longer returns, but echoes remain, in memory, in love, in the matter of the body that returns to earth, in the stardust that continues its journey. We call it silence, but it is not nothing. It is echoes traveling where we cannot yet follow. Listen closely tonight. Between breaths, between sounds, there is quiet. But that quiet is not absence. It is filled with traces too faint for you to notice. The shuffle of distant leaves, the hum of air, the faint murmur of blood in your ears. Even here, silence is full. Even here, echoes live. The ancients knew this in their own way. They spoke of the music of the spheres, a cosmic song too vast for human ears. They believed that what we call silence is only sound too large, too constant, for us to perceive. Modern science agrees. The universe hums with background radiation, with gravitational waves, with the low resonance of stars and planets. Silence is never silent. It is always echoing. So what do we mean by echoes of silence beyond? We mean the reverberations that travel past perception. We mean the voices we cannot hear, but which still exist. We mean the comfort of knowing that nothing is erased, not love, not memory, not the light of a star, not the hum of a universe. Even when they drift beyond us, they continue. Rest with this thought. Your life, too, sends echoes outward. Some will return in the voices of friends, the laughter of children, the remembrance of those who loved you. Others will travel on, beyond hearing, beyond knowing. But they will not vanish. They will carry, soft and endless, into silence beyond. And in that silence, there is no emptiness. There is only the infinite continuation of what has been. The universe hums with echoes of stars, of oceans, of civilizations long gone. But among all these vast reverberations, there is one echo most intimate, most immediate, most enduring. It is your own echo. Every sound you make leaves a trace. Your voice enters the air, vibrates through walls, brushes against leaves, and touches the ear of another. Even when the words are forgotten, the air has been moved, and the world is slightly different for it. Every step you take sends a shiver into the ground. The soil remembers pressure. The stones shift, if only by a hair's breadth. Your movement echoes in the planet's skin. You are never silent. Even in stillness, you breathe. Each breath is an exchange with the sky, air entering, air leaving, an echo of life's rhythm that has continued for billions of years. But your echo is not only physical, it is also memory. Each word you speak to someone settles inside them. They may forget the syllables, but the feeling remains. Long after your voice has ceased, its resonance lingers in another's heart. Think of the teacher whose words shaped you years ago. Think of a friend whose laughter still rises in you unexpectedly. Think of a loved one whose presence you feel even in their absence. These are echoes. They are proof that your life reverberates far beyond the moment it is lived. Biology itself is echo. Your DNA carries the rhythm of ancestors. You are not only yourself, you are their continuation, their resonance moving forward. Every gesture, every instinct, every song you hum is layered with echoes of those before you. And you too are sending echoes into the future. Children who are not yet born will carry fragments of your story. Strangers who will never meet you may still feel the ripple of something you've done. Your echo does not end with you. It travels onward. Consider kindness. You speak gently to someone in pain. They carry that softness, and later they offer it to another. The echo expands. What began as a single vibration of compassion becomes a chain of resonance, stretching into lives you will never see. Consider cruelty. A harsh word may echo too, scarring someone, leading them to pass the pain onward. This too is resonance. It reminds us that our echoes are powerful, whether we intend them or not. You are an echo in space. The atoms of your body were forged in ancient stars. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the carbon in your cells, all are echoes of stellar fire. When you move, when you breathe, those echoes continue their journey. One day, they will scatter again, becoming part of other forms, other lives. You are a resonance of the cosmos, and the cosmos will one day resonate with you again. You are an echo in time. History moves through you. Your language carries syllables spoken by ancestors long gone. Your customs hold gestures repeated for centuries. Even the rhythm of your days, waking, working, resting, is an echo of countless lives before you. When you touch pen to paper, when you strike a chord, when you whisper a prayer, you are repeating acts done by countless others. Their reverberations live in you, and yours will live in those who follow. And you are an echo in silence, for even when you fall quiet, you remain. Your presence shapes the room. Your absence shapes it too. Those who love you feel you when you are near, but they also feel you when you are gone. In both, you echo. Perhaps you doubt this. Perhaps you feel small, forgotten, fleeting, but think again of the canyon. A whisper there may return louder than you expect, carried farther than you imagined. So it is with your life. You cannot always hear the echoes you create, but they exist, traveling outward, returning in ways unseen. There is comfort in this, for it means you are never meaningless. Every action, every word, every breath is part of a larger reverberation. You do not live alone, you live in chorus, and there is humility in this, for it means you are also carrying others. Your own echo is layered with theirs. You are a voice within a harmony, a note within an endless chord. Think of yourself as a wave. You rise, you fall, you fade. But the energy does not disappear. It passes on to other waves, to other forms. Your existence is not erased. It is transformed. You are an echo, and echoes never end. They only change. So what is your own echo? It is your voice in air, your memory in others, your atoms in the cosmos, your rhythm in time. It is the continuation of everything you are, carried forward into silence, into future, into eternity. Rest tonight knowing this. You are not only here for a moment. You are resonance. You are reverberation. You are echo. And long after this day has passed, long after your breath has slowed, your echo will remain. In hearts, in stars, in the very fabric of the world. You are part of the great harmony. You are one note in the endless song. And your sound, your presence, will never truly vanish. All night we have wandered among echoes. We have listened to canyons and oceans, to stars and forgotten worlds, to the mathematics of waves, to dreams, to silence, to the steady drum of the heart. And now, at the edge of this long journey, one question remains. If everything echoes, if nothing ever vanishes entirely, then what are we but echoes ourselves? This is the final whisper, becoming the echo. Think first of your breath. It is not only yours. The air you draw tonight has moved through forests, through oceans, through countless lungs before you. Each inhale is an echo of 1 billion years of life. Each exhale a gift returned to the world. You are not separate from this rhythm. You are part of it, an echo within a cycle without end. Think of your heartbeat. It feels solitary, but it is not. Its rhythm echoes the pulse of your mother before you, and her mother before her. It echoes the primal drum of the first creatures to stir in the sea. It echoes even the beat of collapsing stars, their gravity sending waves across space. Your heart is not only yours, it is a resonance of the universe's own rhythm. Think of your voice. Every word you speak shapes the air. It touches ears, it enters memory, it reverberates long after you have fallen silent. A kindness offered becomes kindness repeated. A cruelty released may echo in wounds for years. Your voice is never only in the moment. It is carried, returned, reshaped. Even when you whisper, the world whispers back. And what of silence? Even in stillness you echo. Your absence is felt. Your presence leaves shape in rooms, in people, in places. You are remembered not only for what you said, but for what you did not say, not only for where you were, but for where you were not. Your silence, too, is echo. We are taught to think of life as a line, birth, growth, ending. But echoes remind us that lines are illusions. Every ending lingers, every moment reverberates. What you do is not confined to now. It travels, it transforms, it returns. You are not a line. You are a wave. You are an echo carried forward. Think of the stars again. Some have died, yet their light still reaches us, still enters our eyes, still becomes part of our nights. So too with us. We may vanish, but the echoes remain in matter, in memory, in the endless reverberation of existence. Perhaps this is immortality, not to remain unchanged, but to continue in echoes, not to be frozen, but to be carried. There is humility in this thought. You are not the center. You are one voice among many, but there is also wonder. For your voice, small as it seems, joins the great harmony. Without you, the chord would be incomplete. And so, at the end of this long journey, listen once more. The echoes we have walked through are not separate. They are one. Stone and cave, ocean and star, dream and silence, heartbeat and memory, all are chambers of the same resonance. All remind us that nothing is ever truly lost. You too are part of that. You are both the voice and the return. You are both the sound and the silence. You are both the beginning and the echo. So rest now. Let go of striving. Let go of noise. Let yourself dissolve gently into reverberation. You are not vanishing. You are becoming. You are echo, and that echo will travel on, soft, steady, carried by air and stone, by memory and time, by stars and silence. It will return in laughter, in tears, in kindness, in dreams. It will return in ways you will never know. This is the promise of echoes, that nothing ends entirely, that every life continues, that even the smallest whisper becomes part of eternity. So sleep. The world holds your resonance. The universe carries your sound. And when you wake, you will find yourself still echoing, in breath, in love, in memory. For this is what it means to be alive, to become the echo